few days ago in my Discord server, one of my friends posted a screenshot that he found from Twitter, and it was basically some guy talking about a German axe which was beautifully made, beautifully crafted sometime around like the 16th century, so like the 1500s. And it was like, I'll even leave the picture up right here. It was a really beautifully crafted, just well made German axe. And then somebody responded to it on Twitter or X and said, I wonder what Africans were doing around the same time. And then somebody posted some of the West African, I'll see if I can find some pictures. They posted the West African mask and like sculptures and etc. like that. And then the guy responded with LMAO. And they got even more likes than the person that responded actually showing what Africans were doing around the same time. Now, I've talked with this to some of my friends, some of whom who will, have different sorts of ideas, and that's fine, right? I think the main premise of it, this right here, is probably one of the biggest reasons why people have sort of insecurities. I feel like it's very interesting that the same people who will tell us to, not claim other people's history or whatever, will at the same time look back and make fun of the stuff that Africans do have. Now, that is one thing, right? But besides that as well, I've talked with some of my friends on the Discord who have different sorts of opinions, and I won't really get into too much detail with that. But one of my friends did say that the whole point of this comparison was that was just a well-made German accent. What he showed in comparison were like sort of the crown jewels of West Africa. These are the things that people parade around. And he does raise a good point, because I do agree with the point that's being made that the Germans, the Europeans, were more advanced than majority of Africans by that time period, the 16th century. So I think that is something that we probably should take into mind. Now, I did have a friend that I don't know if he wants me to mention. Maybe I'll mention him. His name is Kermatrix. You should follow him on X. I'll leave his links down in the description below. He posts really good threads and stuff like that. He responded, and he basically showed some sort of Nordic sculpture, and compared it to some ancient Kushite sculptures from around like the 8th century BC, and made the comparison. And I think this pointed out something really well, because a lot of what I feel like advancements is sort of influence. And as we know, a lot of Europe has been influenced by the Greco-Roman culture, while a lot of Africa, especially below the Sahara, sub-Saharan Africa, haven't been as influenced by world civilizational powers. And we can get into that sort of conversation on its own. That's really its own big topic that might really need its own video. But essentially, the whole idea is, I just wanted to ramble about this, honestly. But I think posts like that are really important to show that whenever we talk about influence, whenever we talk about civilization and advancement as a people, especially when it comes into Africa, people almost frame it as if, it's because Africa didn't have as many civilizations as this other area of the world, therefore Africans are stupid and are incapable of it. When what a lot of people forget is that a lot of influence, a lot of this stuff when it comes to civilization and technological advancement, a lot of it comes from influence, and to even think like the Africans in West Africa, they were the ones who developed their own sort of ironworking, their own sort of civilization, we'll put it in quotes, there was no independent writing or anything like that. But point is, people almost talk about it as if it's something Africans couldn't develop on their own because we were too dumb. But the reality is, for the majority of the world, is that not everybody created things on their own, and there are different metrics and whatever that you could use to measure different people based on whatever. All in all, these are just some of my random thoughts I just got off of work, and I wanted to mention this and make a video about this. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this post, and let me know about that in the comment section. And if you're interested in finding a community where people talk about African history and topics, it will be the first link in the description. You'll see the link to my Discord server. Definitely go there. Share your opinions in the description. But I hope you were able to understand the points that I was trying to make through the video. But yeah, it was just something that I wanted to ramble about, that I found on Twitter, or that my friend found on Twitter, and then I came across as well. With that being said, though, peace. Yo. Alright, yeah, no.